The Election Commission of India is in news. Of course, the reason being the 18th Lok Sabha elections are around the corner. The dates have been, of course, notified. So this is one big reason why Election Commission of India is in news and will be in news for some time now. Having said that, there are specific reasons also with respect to which it is in news. The thing is, it has censured two candidates, one each from the two national parties. Okay, so recently, in fact, yesterday only it censured two candidates, one each from the national parties, and hence it is in news. The Election Commission of India censured because of the derogatory remarks that was passed by these two candidates. So Election Commission understood that yes, they were derogatory and a personal attack, and hence has censured. Now, what do we mean by censured? Has it disqualified them from contesting elections? No. Censured means the Election Commission has shown disapproval for what was said and has sort of warned them to avoid using such derogatory remarks. And at the same time, since they have been censured, Election Commission of India would closely follow their comments, their statements and their speeches whenever they will be and wherever they will be giving them. So they will now be closely monitored. If further things happen, it can aggravate the issue. But for now, it is just sort of a warning which has been given to them, a warning of the disapproval by the Election Commission of India. Not much practical implication as such there will be as of now. Having said that, because of it, it's in news and it's the election year. So of course, Election Commission of India, that is the ECI, becomes very important. Hence, we will know a bit more about the ECI with respect to what it is. Okay, with respect to its structure, right? What kind of structure it has? Did it have different structure earlier and now it has changed? We'll look at that, plus how they are appointed or by whom they are appointed. At the same time, what is the process of their removal? At the same time, what are the limitations that is faced by the Election Commission of India, so on and so forth. So let's start with the very first thing. What is Election Commission of India? Now, Election Commission of India is an autonomous body. It is autonomous body. Apart from being autonomous, it is also a constitutional body. So hence, it is an autonomous constitutional body. Constitutional body. Article 324 to 329 deals with Election Commission of India, and it is an autonomous constitutional body under article, one specific article if you want to know, then that will be article 324. So autonomous constitutional body. Now what are its functions? One more thing we will see here is functions. So let's move on to what all are its functions. As far as its functions are concerned, its functions are very straightforward: to administer and execute the elections. Okay, now the elections of what? The elections for the Lok Sabha, the elections, this is very important, for prelims directly, for Lok Sabha, for Rajya Sabha, right? For state legislative assembly also. So state legislative assembly elections are also the responsibility of the Election Commission of India and not the State Election Commission. Please remember that. So state legislative assembly. What else can you think of? The election of the president. is also the responsibility of the Election Commission of India. Now, then what about State Election Commission? As far as the State Election Commission is concerned, let us quickly look at that also. They take care of the elections of your municipality and that is plus Gram Panchayat. Okay, one confusing part could have been here, that is who does the elections for State Legislative Assembly. Please know that it is done by the Election Commission of India, right? Municipalities and Gram Panchayat would be done by the State Election Commission. Now, one more, apart from President, Vice President also. So, all these elections are administered and executed by the Election Commission of India. Now, the next thing is the structure. What is the structure of the Election Commission of India? The structure earlier was very simple. Earlier it just had one election commission. Earlier it simply had one election commission. That was before 1989. So what happened in 1989? In 1989 there was an amendment which happened. Okay, Amendment Act was brought in 1989, and after 1989 the structure is one chief election commission, one chief election commissioner. This is very important. One chief election commissioner, that is one CEC, plus, now you may say plus two election commissioners. No, that is not the case. Plus any number of election commissioners as decided by the president, from time to time. Very important statement, because in prelims they might directly give you a statement saying that present structure consists of one chief election commission, or let's say the structure of chief election commissioner as per the Act 1989 is one chief election commissioner and two election commissioners. No, it is one chief election commissioner plus any number of election commissioners as decided by the president from time to time, right? And presently what has the president decided? Presently it has decided, of course, one chief election commissioner will be there, plus presently there are two election commissioners. So this is the present status, but the provision of Act says one chief election commissioner plus any number of election commissioners as decided by president from time to time. All right, and this is the present one. Now we have looked at the structure as well. After the structure, let's understand who appoints them. Who appoints them? So they must be appointed by someone. So does the president appoint, or the parliament? The president appoints them. The president appoints them. At the same time, how does the president appoint? The president does a lot of things based on the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. But in this case, there is a committee. There is a committee that, so president appoints on the advice of the committee. So when we are talking about the advice of the committee, what is this committee? This committee consists of who will be there in this committee? We are talking about committee. So whenever the committee comes, sort of you would want to make it unbiased or involve the leader of opposition also, or else generally the decisions or the things done by the president are on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, completely decided by the government, basically Council of Ministers. But this Election Commission of India needs to be an autonomous, needs to be an autonomous commission, right? So you would try to have unbiased representation in the committee. So what will that unbiased representation be? That unbiased representation would be having leader of opposition, okay, plus the Chief Justice of India, right, plus the Chief Justice of India. I think this is completely visible. Yeah, Chief Justice of India, and of course it will have the Prime Minister. So Prime Minister plus leader of opposition plus the CJI, that is Chief Justice of India. So now this looks pretty good, right? One Prime Minister is there, of course, one Prime Minister only. So the Prime Minister is there, that means one person from the government is there. Leader of opposition, one person from the opposition is also there, and the Chief Justice of India, supposedly, of course, a non-partial authority. So this looks quite good. Now the thing is, if there is no leader of opposition, then what? This situation had arisen. So if there is no leader of opposition, then it will be the leader of the largest party, numerically largest opposition, whoever it will be there, numerically largest party which is not part of the government. So if leader of opposition is not there, then the leader of the largest party present would be involved over here. Now there is one catch. The catch is, there's no catch, but there are certain things which have changed. This was the case so far, but now recently in December the government came up with an amendment to this Amendment Act of 2023. And what amendments were made in this? The composition of the committee has been changed, and now the composition is Prime Minister plus Union Minister, any one Union Minister would be here, plus leader of opposition. So now what has happened? And this bill has been given the assent by the President. So now what has happened? You have basically replaced the Chief Justice of India with a Union Minister. So the percentage of involvement of the government is high over here, and of course you can have the consequences of that, which is debatable, which you can argue, right? Now Prime Minister, Union Minister and leader of opposition. One more addition has been happened over here is that the decision or the advice of the committee would hold true even if there is a vacancy in the committee. Meaning, even if, let's say, the leader of the opposition, the post of the leader of the opposition or the single largest party leader is vacant due to XYZ reason, still these two alone can go ahead and decide, even if the post is vacant. That provision was not there earlier. All the three posts were supposed to be filled. Point number one. Point number two, instead of Union Minister, you had CJI. Now, instead of CJI, you have Union Minister, plus even if this person is not there, still the decision will go ahead even if there is a vacancy in the committee. So that is another further issue. Now, what are the terms and conditions, let's say tenure and all those things? So as far as terms and conditions are concerned, they are appointed for 6 years, right, or up to the age of 65 years, whichever is early. So if someone is appointed at the age of 62 years, they cannot go on for another 6 years. Before the age of 65 years, they have to get, leave that post. If someone is appointed at the age of 59 years, then yes, or let's say 58 years for example, then yes, they can go on and serve for the entire 6 years. Alright, now let's talk about the removal. So as far as the removal is concerned, the Chief Election Commissioner, make it a point, not the election commissioners, but the Chief Election Commissioner can be removed in the same manner by the Parliament as Judge of the Supreme Court. So like the judges of the Supreme Court can be removed by the Parliament, in the same manner the Chief Election Commissioner can also be removed. Now we will look at the limitations. One of the limitations is actually, let's start with removal of election commissioners. What about the removal of election commissioners? It is also one of the limitations. The removal of election commissioner does not require any resolution to be passed by the Parliament. They can simply be removed, on the recommendation of Chief Election Commissioner. So election commissioners can be removed simply based on the recommendation of the Chief Election Commissioner. This is one of the limitations. Let us look at other limitations. Other limitations is that the Constitution does not provide for any qualifications. No qualification requirement is given in the Constitution. That is one thing. Second thing, we already saw, just based on the recommendation of the Chief Election Commissioner, the election commissioners can be removed, right? So election commissioners can be removed on the recommendation of Chief Election Commissioner, right? What else are the issue? No qualification. Also, the Chief Election Commissioner can be appointed by the government to any other post after resigning from the post of Chief Election Commissioner. So the Chief Election Commissioner, once they have resigned or been removed or have retired from the post of Chief Election Commissioner, still even after that the government can appoint them to any post. Now that creates a conflict. Because the government can appoint you on any other post after your retirement or resignation, you may try to please the government, right? So that is again a limitation. You may or you may not, but this opens the possibility for doing that. So these are the limitations of the Election Commission of India. So make sure that we know all the facts absolutely clearly. It will be very important for your prelims examination and of course for your mains etc. as well.